we got new jokes. So if he still want to keep them jokes, man, that's a damn shame.
You think he still uses those?
We got new jokes. So if he actually have any desire to keep them jokes, man, that is a damn shoe believe he's actually utilizing those he presumably did you at any point get an expression of remorse, did never got a statement of regret from Steve. He said nothing. My thing is I compose new during a surprising and extemporaneous meeting. The late comic imprint Curry uncovered some disrupting insights concerning Steve Harvey. Curry experienced a curious fan who was quick to figure out more about the cult. And somebody who has taken advantage of others' humor for individual addition. He targeted Curry's composing Curry, called Harvey a hopeless man who couldn't produce unique parody without taking during their sincere conversation. This casual conversation at the air terminal made the circumstances for Curry and Feline Williams to team up in uncovering Harvey's supposed wrongdoing. As per their allegations, Harvey is an awkward entertainer who resorts to deceptive strategies to keep up with his pertine. Once in the business, adding to Curry's stunning allegations, Feline Williams captured everyone's attention on the Club Shia program, reigniting a contention among Harvey and herself that dated back 10 years. Williams was searing in his analysis of Harvey, charging that, as well as standing firm up schedules, Harvey had indecently appropriated the idea for his own program, The Steve Harvey Show, from Curry's famous satire, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. It was an unfortunate attack against Harvey's standing and a terrible evaluation of his profound quality as a comic anyway. This went past straightforward satire and gags in a field where guileful robbery and wild rivalry were the standard. It was a fight for equity and responsibility. Curry's opinions were reflected by Williams' brutal comments, which painted Harvey as a shallow fraud without the singularity and imagination to prevail on his own. Curry and Harvey's extended and severe quarrel depends on charges of humor, burglary, and private matters. Curry lost it when Harvey showed up on Fox Spirit's The Mike Bonney program in 2019, and he guaranteed Harvey had taken his ideas for the NBC Visit show Steve when he was on the television show he had, and he did on My Halloween. Different allegations were made, accounts showing the striking closeness between his clever schedules and Harvey's later exhibitions filled in as implicating evidence supporting Curry's charges. Harvey's legitimacy as a comic and entertainer was raised out about by this unforgiving prosecution on his profound quality and character. Truly happened to me. Thus, my thing is, you didn't need to do that, homeboy. So you realize you brought in sufficient cash ass, yet Curry and Williams wouldn't withdraw alongside charges of jokes taking and untruthfulness. Their unique front against Harvey took steps to obliterate his heritage and notoriety and sign a significant disturbance in the comic book industry as the battle seethes on. Allies and industry insiders are left considering what the cases made by Curry and Williams could mean. Does Steve Harvey genuinely carry on like the liar and cheat that Curry and Williams depict him to be, or alternately are these simply the unpleasant considerations of maddened humorists attempting to obliterate Harvey's mind-boggling vocation? In spite of this warm discussion, one thing is sure: Feline Williams is exceptionally respected by imprint Curry. During an unrehearsed discussion with a fan, Curry got only reverence for his friend in The Journey of Equity and Reality. Diaz, the bitterness coordinated towards Harvey. Curry says that Feline Williams is the encapsulation of honesty and trustworthiness, characteristics that resound profoundly with Curry and rouse their cooperation. And in business, when you rock the web, you realize he copied down the Timberland. In some cases, you got to copy down the fours and let the new develop. Curry stresses the association and backing that the two jokesters have for each other when he calls Williams an extremely great man who regards him and his companions with nobility. Canny, exceptionally savvy. You realize he runs our visit. He, got the best visit out, and he handles everything: the transportation, the cash. The coalition is considerably more than cooperating on projects. It is confirmation of their common convictions and obligation to considering the strong responsible for their activities. His business morals resemble truly strong, like he's treating you folks like he deal with us. Like brilliant. Are you insane? Definitely we are anyway. Extra material has become exposed that presents a disheartening image of the unbelievable entertainer's business tasks following the grave charges exacted against him by imprint Curry and Feline Williams, while help has been given to check Curry and Feline Williams' allegations against Harvey. It appears to be that these complaints are a piece of a greater, more relentless example of conduct that stretches out past humor. Gary Owen, the comic current, lately comes on following his discussion with Steve Harvey. Owen has shared his own stories of bafflement in a new episode of the Club Shia digital recording. Owen discussed his cooperation with Harvey on the last program. Owen says that in spite of the fact that their relationship began as a good cooperation, it before long transformed into an uneven understanding that left them feeling deluded and undervalued. Owen was vexed on the grounds that he had accepted that Harvey and he would work together to additional his field as opposed to getting the direction and help he had expected. Owen then again ended up minimized and given exhausting errands that did practically nothing to additional his expert desires. He asserted that he was covered up behind the stage and just used for voiceovers, which was not the slightest bit like the cooperative crate process he had conceived. Like droop, least the lowest pay permitted by law is what I got compensated, and I can't do this for an addition. All 14 days, I've proactively lost a lot of cash. I lost a crucial second in Owen's life. Happened when he understood that being on the Harvey show was really keeping him from being monetarily fruitful. Owen slowly understood that his obligations to the TV program were adversely influencing his stand-up profession, despite the fact that he had invested a ton of energy and exertion into the undertaking. His work on the Harvey show paid fundamentally not as much as his different conceivable outcome. For example, his experience on Hip Jump Square showing that his relationship with Harvey had an unfavorable monetary impact. Owen's exploration underscores how Harvey's business strategies are shifty, which energizes the fire that Curry and Williams started. Owen's portrayal of Harvey's genuine person uncovered a hazier side described by untrustworthiness and personal circumstance, regardless of Harvey's superficial presentation as a sympathetic industry titan and Coach Harvey's staff's disposition. Ion features this story of egocentrism and disdain for others. An unsettling letter that was spilled trained Harvey's syndicated program staff not to move toward him without a greeting, and not to wait in that frame of mind for a discussion. This assertion paints Harvey as an egotistical individual who is apathetic regarding the requirements of people around him. It is predicated on the thought that Harvey should be content and carry on with a confidential existence. The letter reveals insight into key power elements at work in the background and the inner operations of Harvey's association. It became known through Chicago media blogger Robert Fetter's blog. It makes reference to a frightening and scaring working environment where staff individuals needed with comply to severe guidelines to prevail upon Harvey. The spilled reminder portrays Harvey's activities, which stand as a conspicuous difference to Curry and Williams' brotherhood and deference for each other. Curry depicts Williams as a splendid illustration of trustworthiness and earnestness, while Harvey emerges as a cunning and exploitative person. In light of his conduct, Harvey gave a terrifying legitimization for the email break, guaranteeing that he needed to lay out limits to safeguard his own information and keep up with some level of routine in his day-to-day schedules anyway. His powerlessness to assume a sense of ownership with his blunders says a lot about his demeanor and needs, which just backings the thought that he is an unfeeling and prideful individual. Despite the fact that Steve Harvey's story has previously been uncovered, Feline Williams' imprint, Curry and Steve Harvey's story is as yet unfurling in a confounding yet smart tweet. Harvey seems to dismiss the charges and analysis evened out against him, communicating both wrath and otherworldly talk. Harvey said something in a family quarrel video that appeared to be focused on his naysayers. One ought to never feel a sense of urgency to meet their opponents straightforwardly. Harvey utilized hymns 235, which proposes that when one's endeavors are effective and compelling, individuals would without a doubt get jealous and dreadful. To feature the subject of vanquishing pessimism, nothing must be kept stowed away from others. You should simply act naturally. You don't need to open your mouth, expressed Harvey. There was a blend of affirmation and despairing in his voice. He went on by saying that the presence of